Hey, what's going on everybody? Mike here, AX Garage. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're up for another episode on this 23 Acura Integra A-Spec. On the last episode, able to install a bumper blower valve along with a mix and match Brembo front brake kit. On today's episode, we got a few items from PRL, including a flat fuel system. Now before we get started, let's go take a look and see what we got. All right, John, so we got a few boxes on the table. What do we have here?
Today, it's Integra Day again. These are my favorite days because we're getting modifying on my car. So we got a couple things from PRL and something else I bought just because I've heard some positive things about it. Maybe it doesn't make a difference, maybe it does, but we'll get to all that. So first off, we have from PRL, this is a new product that they're just putting out now, and this will work on your SI and your Integra. I don't know if it'll work on the FK8, I'm not sure about that, or the FL5, but it's pretty similar kind of setup. It is a new coolant reservoir. So this will replace our coolant reservoir, which is a nasty plastic white one, with this one. This is a little sight window. It uses this elbow and the factory line push locks right onto it. Super simple install, 2 bolts, very nice. Ooh, very satisfying. Look at that. That's all billet CNC'd out. Very cool. So we have this to put on. That should be a pretty simple install for us. Then from PRL, we also have, this is something I've been waiting for, their new version of their flex fuel kit. And this thing is very nice. It's a whole plug and play kit. It hooks up to your factory fuel lines, so there's no need for replacement fuel lines, and it comes with its own harness, plugs right in, and all the necessary brackets and fittings that it takes to install it. This is pretty awesome. This is going to allow us to get the new tune from Phearable tuning, which should allow us to increase our boost up to 25 to 27. It varies. And what they're getting on their dyno, which is a dyno jet that is very well maintained and calibrated properly, they're getting 270-ish and like 338 on the torque, which is a big bump over where we're at, which is, I believe, in the 230 range and 280 torque, around there, give or take. So this should be a pretty awesome move for the car. It allows us to run E30 ethanol, which is about 3.2 gallons of ethanol to a full tank of 93. So we're gonna put this in, we're gonna upload our tune, and we're gonna see how that goes. Now the last thing I got is I've seen this a lot. I've also used it on some NC1s, and people really liked it. It's a sprint booster. So what this does is it is a piggyback for your APP sensor, which is your accelerator position sensor. All these cars are drive-by-wire. Right now, all you have to put your input in for throttle control is a gas pedal with a potentiometer on it. What this does is it goes in between there. It gives you a little display control unit here that allows you to change from race mode and change your settings, also for automatic and for manual settings. And what it does is it allows your throttle body to open faster. Drive-by-wire, it's a really cool system, but it also allows the manufacturer to do a lot of things like taper the power in and out based off a throttle angle. Some tuners will take that out. I know on the 8th gens, that rev hang and throttle control all gets fixed with the tune. The tune I put on here, it didn't really change that a whole lot. It made it a little bit better, but I'm hoping this might change a little bit. This may not help at all. This is something I'm experimenting with, so you guys can see how it works out for me as I'm using it. But for today, that's what we have. This is also going to be followed up with some dyno results so that we can see how it actually puts the power down. So that should be it. Let's hop into this thing. So here we are back at our wonderful 1.5 liter of Fury motor right here that we're going to try and squeeze some more power out of it. So this, like I was saying before, this install is pretty simple. This is where it's going to mount. This is the factory hard line that runs back to the fuel pump in the fuel tank. This is the soft line that goes to your fuel pump, your high pressure fuel pump, which is underneath here. So what we have to do is gain access to this. This is a safety cover over our connection. So we're gonna remove our safety cover. There's 3 bolts. Then we're gonna disconnect our fuel line. Be sure to have a rag. You're gonna have some fuel that's gonna leak out. We're gonna remove this bracket and install all the new stuff. So let's start taking it apart. I dropped it. All right, so these 2 fittings don't come hooked up on or installed on here, so we installed them. This is where the factory line goes in, the hard line from the from the fuel pump, and then this is the outlet back to the high pressure fuel pump. This is the mounting adapter that goes where the factory bracket was mounted underneath the car. This goes there. We transferred over the rubber grommets and the metal pieces. Once this gets installed on the car, this will go onto here. It fits perfectly. And then that gives us the mounting for our flex fuel kit. Fuel lines will go right in here, and this is where our harness plugged in. Let's go ahead and install everything on the car. All right, so we have our flex fuel system installed. We didn't hook this up yet. We might hook this up tomorrow. This is the tap where we have to go into one of the coolant temp sensors, and then we have to go into the KTuner and disable it so that it will data log and store it on the computer. But without that, this will still work just the same way. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next step, which is replacing this coolant reservoir. All right, time for the Sprint booster. This is it. Pretty much just a pigtail. This is the actual component. This is the controller for it. It's pretty simple. It's got a bunch of different settings. It's got a dip switch on the side. This is a button, these two buttons. This has a bunch of different modes, such as valet mode, which will put it to where it only goes to 50% throttle. Then it also has another mode that locks it. So this can be another form of safety on your car. And you put in, just like on a Clifford G5, a code through these inputs here, and that will lock and unlock it so that there will be no throttle response if you want the car safe. That's a couple of different things, as well as improving your throttle response altogether. So let's see if it actually works the way it's been, what's the word, Mike? Intended, yeah. Or advertised, as advertised.
I like that.
So let's go ahead and plug it in. The easiest install that we're gonna do is this, and then we'll find a nice little place to mount this little dude. Figure plug it into the pedal first, maybe. You do it with one hand?
Yep.
Bad motherfucker.
All good to go, brother. Hey John, it's a good thing we have no fuel leaks.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the first thing you check. You want to make sure you have no fuel leaks before you crank her up. We don't want to blow the car up first thing. All right, so everything's installed. It was super easy, plug and play. I made a little hole here to mount it on this. I'll figure out, maybe I want to mount it here. We'll see, but to turn on, you hit this button. Green is regular mode, red is race mode, and then you have a bunch of different settings, 9 being the most aggressive. We're probably not going to notice a whole lot of difference till we get the car out on the road and feel it, but I think that'll be a pretty nice setup. I'm happy with it. Very happy. Now we have to go see about horsepower.
Oh, you need gas.
Maybe it's time to put a little E85 in the tank. You know what I mean? A little corn fuel. So the next coolest thing about this sensor is it actually has Wi-Fi connectivity. Go figure, right? So here's our card right here. So all we have to do is first we scan this guy, whoop, right here, and we join the PRL sensor network. Now, after we did that, we scan this corner, and it gives us a link to a web page that will now read our ethanol content. So now we know we're at 11% ethanol content. So now what we need to do is we need to go and add E85 till we get to 30%. Once we're at 30%, then we know exactly that's where we're at, and that's what the tune needs. The reason we can't go higher than 30% is the fuel system can't support the extra ethanol. Ethanol requires a good percentage more than gasoline does. So this is exactly what we need. The ethanol will allow the engine to run more boost, have less NOx, and allow everything to run safer and better at the higher boost levels. And that's what we need to get more power in this baby. Now let's go hit the dyno and see how it does. All right, so we're over at the dyno, at Javi Tune's dyno. We just got it strapped up. We're gonna go ahead and do some pulls and see what it does on the E30 mix with the Phearable tune. I think it's a 2.5 race tune, and anxious to see what it is. Let's go ahead and get it rolling. I know, but usually it starts reading. Yeah, no, every time you hit the button, it changes. All right, so we just did our pulls, and it came up to on low boost. What was it, Mike? 230
something.
237.
And then like just under 270 foot-pound of torque.
Torque. So it's pretty similar to what it was before on our high boost, but on low boost. So now on the high boost with the E30 mix, which I checked it was coming in right at 30% on the PRL sensor. It came to, what was our numbers there?
The highest we have is 258. We
258.
have two pulls of 257s.
Yeah, so 258, we'll go with the highest one because that sounds more better. More better.
I like that.
And then what was our torque? It was, I want to say it was...
I think it's 320 something.
Yeah, 320 something torque.
I think it's overall about 25 horsepower gain and about 55 foot-pound of torque for our dyno.
Yeah, for our dyno, and we're still on the stock exhaust on the car. And temperature's hot, and it's been raining all day, so our humidity's pretty hot. So, like we always said before, everyone's dyno reads a little bit different, and maybe the gas is a little bit different, so it's hard to keep consistent numbers. But I can tell you this, the butt dyno on this thing, it feels tremendously faster, and when you hit it in second gear, it roasts the tires when it didn't used to do that before. But overall, totally happy with bolt-ons and reliability. Our air fuel was right under 12.0, so that means we're not leaning out anywhere. We have plenty of fuel, and I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna send over our data logs to John Vega, Phearable Tuning, and see how he likes it and if anything needs to be tweaked. But as of this, you guys seen, you can do this with your car with just bolt-ons and simple stuff. Except for the clutch. You need a clutch. Let's not bolt in. All right, guys, these dyno pulls have shown us some incredible number on these 2020
23 Integra A-Spec with a 1.5 liter turbo motor. So why don't we do a quick recap and check out the result that we have. We started off with a complete bolt-on PRL flex fuel kit along with a Phearable stage 2.5 flex fuel tune, and the result is 258 horsepower and 327 foot-pound of torque, and that's really impressive coming from a 1.5 liter turbo motor. Now the next episode we have a brand new exhaust system from DC Sport that we're going to show you from A to Z, and also a full installation process you guys don't want to miss. Make sure you guys subscribing to our channel and turn on that notification. If you guys like what you see, make sure you hit that like button and drop a comment below and let us know how we are doing. And we're going to wrap this video up. My name is Mike, on behalf of A-Spec Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see all of you next week.